Hey guys, I'm Frances with IdeateTV. Today we are here at the Pre ComicCon Bash, but what a special treat. We have one of the original founders of Comic-Con here, Mike Towry. So Mike, tell us, what was the inspiration for Comic-Con in the first place?
Well, a guy named Sheldorf, who had helped put on a convention called the Detroit Triple Fanfare, one of the first comic conventions in Detroit. He moved to San Diego in '69, and he wanted to see if he could do the same sort of thing in San Diego, so he managed to get a hold of a few of us local fans and kind of pitched the idea to us, and we decided it was a good idea, and we decided we'd do it. So that's how it went. Our first event was a one-day affair in 1970. We were in the basement of the U.S. Grant Hotel. Had like maybe 100, 150 people came total.
And now Comic-Con is one of the biggest comic conventions in the world. I mean, how do you feel about seeing that grow from 150 to thousands of people?
Well, it's very cool. It's certainly nothing we ever expected, because comics, science fiction, and such things weren't really looked on very favorably in those days, and that's sort of why we really needed a convention, so we could get together with other people that like this stuff. But now it's everywhere, and it's so popular, and it's very cool to see everybody coming to the Comic-Con and having such a great time.
And so, what are your favorite comics? Do you have any favorites?
Well, I still like the old Jack Kirby stuff. It's probably, it's my favorite when it comes to any sort of superhero thing. I like stuff by this British couple that does comics together, Brian and Mary Talbot. I do a smaller event, kind of like the old school Comic-Con, called the Comic Fest every year. And they were our guests of honor last year from England, so they do a lot. And just, odds and ends, things here and there that just, strike my fancy. I like this one called Concrete Park. It's a kind of a sci-fi set on a prison planet kind of thing, and, it's a lot of fun. So
if you could tell our viewers something just about following their dreams, following an unconventional path that isn't your typical what you do right after graduating college, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, a while back when we had the 40th Comic-Con back in 2009, there was a reporter for the San Diego Union called me up and did an interview about, the early starting of the Comic-Con. And for the most part, we were just kids. I was 14 when we started it. And so he asked, what made you think that you could do this? And honestly, I hadn't even thought about it. And I just said, well, we never thought we couldn't. It's something we wanted to do, and so we just went ahead and did it.
That's really, really cool. And if our viewers want to find out more information about you and about all the events that you have going on, where can they go?
Well, the event that I put on the Comic Fest is at sdcomicfest.org, and it's President's Day weekend, and of course Comic-Con's coming up next week, and there's the Comic-Con website, and there's some stuff on there actually I've written about the early days of Comic-Con. You could probably search it out on Google.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. It was a pleasure, and enjoy the event tonight.